Hey baby, I'm here for the third part of the book for your bedtime story. We're still on chapter 1. Okay, my friends were more involved with the stretching pain in their legs than in my little story. We warmed up easily, doing a few handstand push-ups, some sit-ups and leg raises, and then began our tumbling series. As I flew through the air again and again, as I swung around the high bar, did scissors on the pommel horse, and struggled through a new muscle-straining ring routine, I wondered about the mysterious feats of the man I'd named Socrates. My ruffled feelings urged me to avoid him, but I had to make sense out of this enigmatic character. After dinner, I quickly read through my history and psychology assignments, wrote a rough draft of an English paper, and raced out of the apartment. It was 11 p.m. Doubts began to plague me as I neared the station. Did he really want to see me again? What could I say to impress upon him the fact that I was a highly intelligent person? He was there, standing in the doorway. He bowed, and with a wave of his arm welcomed me into his office. "Please remove your shoes," a custom of mine. I sat down on the couch and put my shoes nearby, in case I wanted to make a hasty exit. I still didn't trust this mysterious stranger. It was starting to rain outside. The colour and warmth of the office was a comfortable contrast to the dark night and ominous clouds outside. I started to feel at ease. Leaning back, I said, "You know, Socrates, I feel as though I met you before." "You have," he answered, again opening the doorway in my mind where dreams and reality become one. I paused. Socrates, I've been having this dream. You were in it." I watched him carefully, but his face revealed nothing. "I've been in many people's dreams. So have you. Tell me about your dream," he smiled. I told him in as much detail as I could remember. The room seemed to darken as the terrible scenes became vivid in my mind, and my familiar world began to recede. After I finished, he said, "Yes, a very good dream." Before I could ask him what he meant by that, the station bell clanged and clanged again. He put on a poncho and went outside into the wet night. I stared out the window, watching him. It was a busy time of evening, the Friday night rush. Things got pretty hectic, with one customer driving in after another. I felt silly just sitting there, so I went out to help him, but he didn't seem to notice me. An endless line of cars greeted me, two-tones, reds, greens, blacks, hardtops, pickups, and foreign sports cars. The moods of the customers varied as much as their cars. Only one or two people seemed to know Socrates, but many people looked twice at him, as if noticing something odd but undefinable. Some of the people were in a party mood, laughing loudly and blaring their radios while we waited on them. Socrates laughed right along with them. One or two customers were sullen, putting forth a special effort to be unpleasant, but Socrates treated one and all with the same courtesy, as if each person was his personal guest. After midnight, the cars and customers grew scarce. The cool air seemed unnaturally still after having been filled with raucous noise and activity. As we entered the office, Socrates thanked me for my assistance. I shrugged it off, but was pleased that he noticed. It was a long time since I'd helped anyone with anything. After midnight, the cars and customers grew. Once inside the warm office, I remembered our unfinished business. I started talking as soon as I flopped onto the couch. "Socrates, I have a couple of questions." He held his hands in a gesture of prayer, looking upward to the office ceiling as if asking for divine guidance or divine patience. "What," he said with a sigh, "are your questions?" "Well, I still want to know about the roof and why you said, 'I'm pleased to see you again,' and I want to know what I can do for you and how you can be useful to me, and I want to know, how old are you?" Let's take the easiest one for now. I'm 96 years old by your time. He was not 96. 56 maybe. 66 at the outside. 76 possible but amazing. But 96? He was lying. But why would he lie? And I had to find out about the other thing he'd let slip too. "Socrates, what do you mean by your time? Are you on Eastern Standard Time, or are you from outer space?" Isn't everyone, he replied. By then I had already considered that a distinct possibility. I still want to know what we can do for each other. Just this. I wouldn't mind having one last student, and you obviously need a teacher. I have enough teachers, I said too quickly. He paused and drew a deep breath. Whether you have a proper teacher or not depends upon what you want to learn. He rose lightly from his chair and walked to the door. Come with me, I want to show you something. We walked to the corner from where we could see down the avenue to the lights of the business district and beyond them to the lights of San Francisco. The world out there, he said, waving his arm across the horizon, is a school, Dan. Life is the only teacher. It offers many experiences, and if experience alone brought wisdom and fulfillment, then elderly people would all be happy, enlightened masters. But the lessons of experience are hidden. I can help you learn from experience to see the world clearly, and clarity is something you desperately need right now. You know this is true, but your mind rebels. You haven't yet turned knowledge into wisdom. I don't know about that. I mean, I wouldn't go that far. No, Dan, you don't know about it yet. But you will go that far and beyond. We headed back to the office, just as a shiny red Toyota pulled in. Socrates continued talking as he opened the gas tank. Like most people, you've been taught to gather information from outside yourself, from books, magazines, experts. He stuck the gas nozzle into the tank. Like this car, you open up and let the facts pour in. Sometimes the information is premium, and sometimes it's low octane. You buy your knowledge at the current market rates, much like you buy gasoline. Hey, thanks for reminding me. My tuition check for next quarter is due in 2 days. Socrates just nodded and continued to fill the customer's tank. When the tank was full, Socrates kept pumping gas, until fuel started overflowing the tank and pouring down onto the ground. A flood of gasoline ran across the pavement. Socrates, the tank is full. Watch what you're doing. Ignoring me, he let the flood continue, saying, Dan, like this gas tank, you are overflowing with preconceptions, full of useless knowledge. You hold many facts and opinions, yet you know little of yourself. Before you can learn, you'll have to first empty your tank. He grinned at me, winked, and turning the pump off with a click, added, Clean up the mess, will you? I got the feeling he was referring to more than the spilled gas. I hurriedly watered down the pavement. Sock took the driver's money and gave him back some change and a smile. We walked back to the office and settled in. What are you going to do? Fill me full of your facts, I said. It's not a matter of facts, it's a matter of body wisdom. What's body wisdom? Everything you'll ever need to know is within you. The secrets of the universe are imprinted on the cells of your body, but you haven't learned how to read the wisdom of the body, so you can only read books and listen to experts and hope they are right. I couldn't believe it. This gas station attendant was accusing my professors of ignorance and implying that my college education was pointless. I understand this body wisdom concept, but I don't buy it. He shook his head. You understand many things, but have realised practically nothing. What's that supposed to mean? Understanding is the one-dimensional comprehension of the intellect. It leads to knowledge. Realisation is three-dimensional. A simultaneous comprehension of head, heart, and instinct. It comes only from direct experience. I'm still not with you. Do you remember when you first learned to drive? Prior to that time, you'd been a passenger. You only understood what it was, but you realised what it was like when you did it for the first time. That's right, I said. I remember feeling. So, that's what it's like. Exactly. That phrase describes the experience of realisation perfectly. One day, you'll say the same thing about your life. I sat quietly for a moment and piped up. You still haven't explained to me how body wisdom works. I've come to the end of time, darling. For this time, anyway. I still love you forever and ever and always. I hope you're okay. Sweet dreams.